A joint initiative between the U.S. and Mexico is raising questions as President Trump fights to secure funding for his border wall. One America's Kristian Rouz looks into the matter.
Mexico announces a joint program with the U.S. State Department to curb mass migration from Central America. As part of the deal, the U.S. will spend $10.6 billion starting next year to tackle poverty and improve infrastructure in Central American countries. This is twice the amount of border wall funding requested by President Trump.
México y los Estados Unidos hoy.
Today, Mexico and the United States committed to strengthening and broadening bilateral cooperation for economic development, an investment in the south of Mexico and Central America to create a region of prosperity.
Meanwhile, the U.S. government is facing a shutdown over the Democrat resistance to President Trump's request for $5 billion in funding for the border wall.
I'm not very optimistic that the Democrats are going to yield on providing $5 billion for wall funding.
The announcement from Mexico's foreign minister raised questions. If the U.S. cannot afford to spend $5 billion on the border wall, how can it afford over $10 billion to rebuild Central America? U.S. aid is largely administered by the State Department, and most of this money does not require a congressional approval, unlike funding for the border wall.
México y los Estados Unidos liderarán el trabajo.
Mexico and the United States will lead on this work with regional and international partners so as to build a more prosperous and secure Central America, addressing the causes of immigration. The goal is for citizens to build better lives for their families at home.
Over the past few months, President Trump has repeatedly said he would cut all aid to Central American governments if they don't ramp up efforts to prevent the flow of mass migration through their countries. This as thousands of Central American migrants are still standing along the U.S. southern border. Additionally, Mexico said that $10 billion might not be enough, as Central America might need up to $25 billion to end migration. This is exactly the total cost of President Trump's border wall.
We give them hundreds of millions of dollars. They do nothing for us.
How will cutting aid keep migrants from...
You know what? Maybe it will and maybe it won't, but it certainly hasn't affected. They could do a lot better job.
Meanwhile, some say the U.S. aid to Central America might be misappropriated upon receipt. This will hardly help curb mass migration, but will make drug cartels and MS-13 even more powerful and wealthy. For their part, supporters of President Trump are calling for a private funding and crowdfunding of the wall, bypassing congressional Democrats.
I'm glad that President Trump is following through on his commitment to keep this country safe. He needs $5 billion to make sure he can follow through on that promise, and we need to be there for him and see that this gets done.
While the debates continue, President Trump remains confident he will get the wall funding, one way or another. Kristian, Rouz, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.